This is Bribe number 2, Saving Trees, Forests, and Orchards from Borers. It is a multi-million-dollar idea that can be franchised, all free to you because there are more important issues here than money. Trial of life. This tree has been attacked by borers ever since it was about 12 inches in width. It's now about 30 inches in width. In other words, for the last 30 years or so, there has been borers in this tree. It's still alive, and that's because we treated it each and every year with chemicals that are, provided by nurseries and universities and what have you, and said this is what you do. They're not very effective. Last year I gave it a different treatment, and for the first time it has not had any borers this year, and after 30 years of looking at it, I know the difference. So I'll get to that treatment in a little bit. This is Bribe number 2, and my purpose here is to invite you to learn about things that are threatening our world. Among the things that are most important, you must understand that your universities and other business organizations say, quote, scientists have begun blurring the line between human and animal by producing chimeras, a hybrid creature that's part human, part animal. They have been fusing human cells with rabbit eggs for years. For years, scientists have added human genes to bacteria and farm animals. Not only life as we know it, but also life as it might be is their plan. This is the second tree on the property. It's a different kind of tree. This is a crabapple tree. And if you look at the little pink dots, you can see little borer holes that are about an inch apart and go around the tree trunk. They're consistent, and they go, at this point, and they're lower down, and so on. Oh, here we are. Okay, so there are little bore holes on the trunk, and they do a lot of damage to the tree. We're going to fix those as well. Even though they know that pandemics throughout history have been caused primarily by diseases which cause species boundaries to invade an entirely different species, such as humanity causing widespread death. Species boundaries and identities have been invaded throughout this world by their mutilation, and there is no good outcome to any of this. It is all bad, believe it or not. This is a tool for working on trees. This is the end that it comes out of. This is more or less a seal. It's just silicone around a washer. This is a plumbing This is an adjusting bolt. That's a plumbing elbow. This is another plumbing elbow, and by loosening the adjusting screw or taking it out, you can change the position of the nozzle. This is just a gas valve for letting out pressure. This is a little thread spool, for operating the valve. The valve goes this way. The spring pulls it back. The spring here pulls it back. The thread comes out. This is just a common paint expanding pole, so you can reach further. And that's a hose that delivers pressure. They are working to, quote, establish synthetic biology, including synthetic organisms, biological engineering, artificial chemistry, origin of life issues, paleontologists, paleogenetics, cloning, and first embryos that who knows what they intend to do with. It's all bad. We're now generating steam. We're going to push up to about 15 psi. That's all that's required. Just so you know, it has a secondary valve and it has a pressure relief valve that will actually put out the flame if it actually goes off, but that shouldn't be any kind of problem. The medical industry, universities, governments, and others are all promising great breakthroughs so long as they can continue to mutilate DNA and then proclaim themselves to be God. But DNA, or genetic instructions, build every living body of life, which means this is nature itself. Consequently, interpreted, what they intend to do, and are in fact doing, is destroying nature itself to play God. Do you want humanity to be your God? Or do you understand the simple words, nature has given us everything, and has proven to be over thousands of years of recorded history as perfect as life can be? Humanity, on the other side of that line, has proven in war after war their primary contribution is destruction. This tree was treated last year, and it showed immediate improvement. Well, actually 2 weeks it showed improvement then. And it is clearly in better health this year than it has ever been. I have plugged the holes that are lower down, so they're not easy to get to show you, but we're going to put try this one up here, see if you can. The thing to remember is we're using steam and borer chemicals. This is about killing borers in trees. And so, you have to be wearing a mask would be best. You need to be away from the steam line. That would be best. If you put a pipe in here and then hold the pipe that the steam goes through, you have to deal with the heat that the steam is going to create, and if you develop a leak when it's in your hands, that isn't good either. So you have to be careful. You have to understand the mixture here is pretty much the rated chemical per mix of water that the manufacturer recommends, and we just turned it to steam so that it would be invasive and follow the tunnels that the borers create in the tree limbs. So that's what we're doing, and here we'll show you in just a minute how that actually works, if I can. This is a in place, and unfortunately trying to get it together without someone to help me. Oh, I forgot to turn on the valve. So here we go. At 15 psi, there's not a lot of activity, but you can hear it. And that was steam coming out, and I really don't care to put a lot of, these are dangerous chemicals, not easy and not good to breathe, and you want to be, away from it, and so on. Quote, they created an organism with man-made DNA, worth more than $1 trillion. Their statement, it's pretty stunning when you just replace the DNA, and in a short while, all the characteristics of the first species disappear, and a new species emerges. This is an attachment made for the crabapple tree, or similar circumstances where you have the little bore holes that surround the trunk in a specific order. It attaches to the end of that tool that was shown to you previously, and it's just a flexible steel skirt with an inner tube on the inside to seal up against the tree. Steam comes out of the hole in the middle, and the inner tube keeps it in place, and that's all there is to it. You just move it around the tree. I'll show you in a minute. The previous statement verifies and proves, even though there is no doubt, that although you can change the structural integrity and reality of life and living by mutilating DNA, the bodies of life that are nature, thereby destroying nature as it is, there's no putting mutilation back in the box, which means horror, terror, tragedies, and a sea of tears are literally close at hand. It will be a dead or mutilated nature, and that is a dead world, including you. This is the tool on the handle. You can turn it sideways to sideways and what have you. It's just strung on there and looped and held in place that way. I'm going to turn on the steam. I pushed it up to 30 psi this time. We'll start here. This is hard to do by myself. With one hand. All right. So, as soon as I get the string here. All right, so you can see steam here. Water drips out as well. That's how you treat those little pieces here, those little problems. Same is true for the bottom. Although it's hard to control by myself. You get the idea. And you also saw the steam head off in an opposite direction of me. It's very important to watch what direction the wind is in when you're shooting this stuff into the tree. I've had one treatment on these trees. I have 3 different styles of borers in 3 different kinds of trees here, and I treated them all last year, and they've all been completely healthy this year, and they all improved within a couple weeks last year. I treated this tree last year as well, not with this particular tool. I just used the steam end and did each individual hole since there aren't so many, and it improved considerably too. The leaves quit, every year it had a problem. The leaves showed that it had a problem each and every year, and this year they are fine. So it is a very effective treatment. It seems to be a one-time treatment, and it is very useful in orchards and things like that. Trying to keep your tree at home, which is very valuable to each of us, at least to me, in one piece. Their quote. It's mutilating DNA means cheaper and widely accessible tools to build bioweapons, virulent pathogens, and artificial organisms that could pose grave threats to people and planet. This is trialoflife.info website. I have several. And this is about the constant problem that having a university decide what is best for you and what is not. Their solution to a tree that has borers in it is to cut every tree in the forest or every tree in the city down. That's their solution, so that they might not die. And of course, they're all dead then. It is insane. The purpose of your universities, etc., is not only money for themselves, but the power not to heal you, but control the very body you inhabit. Got a snake growing out of your ass from biological mutilation? They combine species together, anything and everything. Where then are you going to go? Got 10 heads, 30 feet, no eyes, one arm 50 feet long. Your body turning to slime because the structure of your living body is just melting away. And a billion other horror stories just like it are coming. Can't be? Take another damn look at what your geneticists, medical laboratories, and military installations are doing around this world. Everything that survives the crucifixion of mixing life together and forcing terrifying results upon anything that lives for even a second is thrown outside into this world in the hopes that it will infect and evolve into something new, thereby proving they can play God. How is that not your concern? Quote, the danger is not just bioterror, but bioerror. Sequenced and stored in digital form, which will move instantaneously across the globe and be resurrected in labs thousands of miles away, terrorist or not. The foundation of university purpose and intent is to cause the complete collapse of nature itself, as is DNA, its structure, discipline, balance, order, thought, and every other participant in life. Thereby, from the pieces they expect to expose, they do intend to learn how to put it back together under their own design, removing God from His creation. If you have a religious bent, if not, then they become your gods and you will become their horrified slaves as they play God with everything and can't put anything back. What these terrorists will learn is nothing in this world can put nature back together again, and all life has become the living dead as we just wait to die, because they have destroyed us and every life on this planet by mutilating the very structures and the very realities that keep us alive and build our bodies. How is that not worth investigating and proving what is or is not true, or potentially the reality we will face?